Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host, our very good friend, is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Married at First Sight Australia, Season 10, Episode 4. Now, Chris, where would you like to start today?
Well, Dave, we'll just start in order of the way it's gone, to be honest, this new episode. We get introduced to another new couple to start with. We've got two couples by the end of this episode, but the first one, Dave, is Caitlin and Shannon. Now, I've got to say, Dave, Shannon, 30-year-old, he's a PT, he's a single father, shows him like with his son's lovely hair, Dave. I've got to say, it was one of the most outrageous quiffs I've seen in a long time. But he has got the most dreamiest blue eyes I have ever seen, Dave. I'm not being funny. Even I'd marry him at the altar, Dave, if he was there. Them eyes were piercing, and a nice jawline as well. You know, my jawline's disappearing since lockdown, Dave. It's becoming more rounded these days. But no, yeah, I'm very impressed. I thought these two looked pretty good together, and she just said she'd had a string of bad luck with men, hadn't she? You know, the usual stuff with this sort of scenario backdrop. But no, everything seemed pretty good, and I like his dad. His dad loved his dad. His dad went, yeah, he said, I'm going to go and speak to the mother. Right, Dave, I'm going to do an impression because you've been late for yours. I'm going to go. This fucking cockney. Oh, I'm going to go and speak to them over there. And fucking...
Saying nothing. Form. Listeners, just get your emails in.
Yeah, on form.
Or messages, whatever it is.
Again, it always says Mary Poppins. But anyway,
Sorry, live and breathe.
he went, I'm going to go speak to the mother over there, like to his wife. And she went, why? Because we want to speak to her and tell her how fucking stupid our kids are. And I was thinking, oh, I like this guy. He's not buying into this. So their wedding was pretty sweet. Everyone was laughing. It seemed like really put together well. They seemed quite honest. And I was all in on these two, Dave. I didn't really see much that stood out to go, oof, what's going on here? I'm sure we're going to get the bumps in the road down the line. But from what I saw, they seemed like quite a good match for a change for the experts.
Yeah, and if anyone's listening and wondering, is Chris putting it on and over-exaggerating a bit when he's gushing about how dreamy Shannon is? I got it all in text message form because Chris watched it a little bit before I did, and so said almost the exact same thing over text.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I completely agree. And, you know, it reminds me of, I just want to say Craig David, Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig has got those amazing, piercing blue eyes, and Shannon has them as well. So, yeah, like you say, monstrous quiff. Not sure about that, but yeah, I'm with you. I think this is another one of those couples that, okay, they might not work out, but actually they do look like a decent pairing, don't they? So this is, it's almost, I'd say it's almost half and half of couples that, you know, are just there for the comedy. You know, they're going to provide the drama and the, you know, the laughs for us. But then you've got the other half that are like, oh, okay, you know, they could stand a chance. I mean, chances are they won't, you know, because once you're in amongst the drama and everything, I can imagine it's really hard to get a proper relationship in there. Yeah. But that's not why we watch the show. So, yeah, no, I, for the moment, I'm all in on this couple, and let's just see how they go.
Well, just before we sort of move on, I've got to say, Caitlin's mum, her line that was caught on camera was basically, it can't be any worse than the dickhead she's dated before. So I was like, oh, well, it's obviously nice a low bar there.
Thank you, Mum.
Shannon doesn't have much to do. But then it was Shannon's line about, they were saying, what do you think? Obviously, Dave asked him, what do you think of Caitlin? We don't hear the question. And he just goes, yeah, she's got a great rig on her. I'm just like, well, I don't know whether that is the right terminology, but we'll go with that. And I did notice, Dave, that they sent him to the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here hotel as well, a Versace hotel, Dave. That's where they all stay when they're doing I'm a Celeb.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah,
right.
So I noticed that straight away.
Yeah, because I know she was saying, like, it feels like we're not posh enough to be here, to breathe this Versace air. But no, they did all right there, didn't they? And I think it looks like a bloody nice hotel.
What was that? Was that another Cockney accent, Dave? Or was that...
No, that was just me. Did I say
you putting an accent on there?
That wasn't intentional.
Calling out your normal accent. Sorry.
Bloody nice, mate. It's Bonzo, mate. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
I tell you what, Chris, though, while we're being a bit gushing about the blokes, I think the next couple that we get, so Alyssa and Duncan, my word, Duncan's a dreamboat as well, isn't he? You know, so yeah. I think one of the experts said, you know, he's the most eligible bachelor there. You had one of the wedding guests, someone on Alicia's side, who was saying, like, as soon as he walked down the aisle, I was going to jump up there and marry him. So, yeah, again, now, what do you think of Alicia's background, though? Because obviously she's, I guess, ex-Mormon, but, you know, essentially her whole personality and everything, her whole value system has been shaped by this Mormon upbringing.
Yeah, and obviously she mentioned that and the religious side of it, and it sounds, you know, obviously I don't really know that religion personally, so I don't know what the upbringing is, but it seemed very strict. And then obviously she mentioned about her father coming out when she was 16 as gay, and that obviously had an effect on her, which you can completely understand. You know, she just seemed very nervous. She's a gamer. I'll give her that. You know, she was talking and stuff. You know, she just looked really, really sad, didn't she? And like really, like she wants to find someone, and like she's been browbeat. But again, Dave, why the hell would you come on this show if you've had such a life that? Is this something that's hopefully going to raise her profile? Is she going to elevate herself? Hopefully. But yeah, Duncan seemed a good guy. She seemed really nice as well. They were actually, for once, the two couples were quite boring, Dave. It was the ones that were already married that sort of made this episode. They were. Yeah, I was all in on these. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, did she look all sad and everything? I'm not sure. I mean, why would you come onto this show? Well, obviously, the cynicism says nowadays, you know, a lot of it is influencers or people who want to get into the influencer game and live that sort of lifestyle. But I do think this is what I like about Married at First Sight. I do think you have some people who drink the Kool-Aid. You know, they kind of believe in the idea of what you would think this show is about. You know, just someone, you know, you've not had the best of luck yourself, so you put that choice into other people's hands. You know, it's a bit like having an arranged marriage, really, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
But, you know, and try that. And I'm guessing that she's more inclined that way. You know, she's kind of wanting to be set up, you know, because she hasn't had that much luck. And I suppose the trouble is, you know, when you've done most of your growing up, really, you know, in terms of how your personality is going to develop, I think by the time you're 16, you know, and then from there, you're just experiencing different things. So it's into diminishing returns. Like, how much do you really change fundamentally who you are? So if you've missed out on all of that, and, you know, dating boys and, you know, talking about boys and all that sort of stuff, then it must feel fairly daunting. Well, I have to say, Chris, I mean, I hadn't thought about that up until, you know, we've just been speaking about it now. Because all I keep thinking is, well, my favourite fucking musical is The Book of Mormon. I fucking love it. Absolutely love it. And one of the songs in there, in fact, one of the characters is gay himself, but being a Mormon, he has to crush it. You know, he has to squeeze it down and pretend it's not there. And there's a whole song, there's a whole routine called "Turn It Off," and so yeah, I just couldn't help but think of that, to be honest. And I'm waiting. Well, I'm watching this couple. These are in the kind of, I kind of hope they work out pile. But I'm also intrigued about some of the, you know, especially when they have to live together and stuff, like, how is it really going to develop? And is some of that upbringing, some of those early lessons about dating that are missing, you know, is that going to come back to interfere with the relationship?
I think it will, Dave. And I think we know how MAFS goes. At the moment, we're like, well, these look safe. These look good. These look good. Something always, even if it's just one episode, something always is there to absolutely sort of question, should they be together? So I'm confident in these four seem quite happy, and they may end up being like when the lunatic couples are just going crazy on MAFS, which they do at these dinner, but they may be the voice of reason, Dave. But you always get the clicks, don't you, where then all of a sudden you think a couple are nice, but one of them's nice, one of them's a dick. It's MAFS at the end of the day. Like you say, as much as I call the experts, and we're still onto the experts, because some of the shit they were peddling on this episode about how good they were and fucking nonsense, absolute shit. But I'll go with it for now, because I'm sure we're going to have plenty to say about the experts as we go on, Dave. Apparently, Johnny's standing no messing this series, Dave. But he did towards the end of the last series, but that remains to be seen, because there was some stuff they should have pulled up a long time ago.
Well, let's put it this way. John at least holds them to account a lot more than Paul does, if you're listening, Paul.
Yeah.
And as Arnie said, I'll be back. Still full of shit, though. I mean, the whole honesty box thing, John's like, yeah, the honesty box. This is the, a staple of Married at First Sight, and it really helps couples understand each other better. And I'm like, no, you're just there with your big shit stirring spoon, and you love the fucking drama, and we love the honesty box because we know it does bring some couples together, but more often than not, it unveils some uncomfortable truths. But before we get onto that, I mean, Lyndall and Cameron, I mean, they seem to be still going quite well, don't they? And, the whole honesty box thing there about, does he have any fears? I can't remember exactly what the question was, but it's something like that. And, it was brought up, that he was nervous about the fact she said her initial life expectancy was 32, I think?
Yeah.
So I think in everyday life, let's say these two people just met and hit it off. I mean, imagine going a while and not raising that topic, from his side, and actually admitting, I'm not sure I want to get so invested, because the life I envisage with someone else is way more than the next 5 years. And it's fucking horrendous, obviously, for you on your side. But I also need to protect myself, maybe. You know what I mean? Surely that would be a natural thing to consider when you're so early. You've just literally met this person. So the fact that they could actually bring it up and talk about it, get it on the table, I thought was brilliant. And so, again, out of all the couples, I think I'm rooting for these the most.
Yeah, and ultimately, Dave, there was tears at that, honesty box situation. But the next day, they both, acknowledged that they slept together. Lyndall did it in a, quite a respectful way. I had a great night and everything. But then, Cam, I got a shag. It was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Fucking come on. Better ways to say that. The first night together and he's fucking boasting not boasting, but he's just his dialogue. I was like, oh, come on. but it seems to do the trick. That thing came together. And I think you're right. It's a question that needs to be asked, doesn't it, at the end of the day? It really does need to be asked.
In their case, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, isn't it? Like, the whole reason she came on the show and into the experiment is because she'd been holding back herself in her life. I think she said she found out the news when she was 14, cried for, was it 3 or 4 days or something like that. It must have been earth-shattering. I can't even imagine how that must have felt. But then she's decided, I can't get involved with anyone, because I'm not here for that long. So to have that kind of wonder drug that she's taken, to have that life expectancy, pushed right out, it suddenly opened all of these doors. But, with the partner, Cameron, you're going to have those conversations as well, because it's going to be a natural fear, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, Dave. It's a human nature. You would be, because if you're going to commit to someone and fall in love with them, just for their health as well, but for yourself, if you've been hurt in the past, you'd be like, I don't know whether I want to, go down this route. So I think it was a great solution, to be fair. I know it's played out on screen, but no, it was good stuff. Now, another couple, Dave, who obviously did sow their oats, is Bronte and Harrison. So we come back to the narcissistical prick that is Harrison. And he stood there talking away and sat there having a drink and a bit of wine. And he turns there and I'll quote his words. It's taking me fucking everything to not jump over the chair, because he absolutely was thirsty for a bit of Bronte, Dave. The next day, they've slept together. What's Harrison do? Not interested one bit. The chemistry's changed, apparently. Now, I've read between the lines. It looked like he'd done a one-bam thank you, ma'am, Dave. It was actually a 10-second special, and she said something like, I know his best favourite sex position over whatever the line was. But I just felt so sorry for her, and I love the reaction. She's like, what? The camera, it's like, he is definitely doing a grand crap, Dave. He's absolutely blagging it. The stories we've heard before, I've got a theory, and I'll wait till the end. I've got another theory about this as well, which I think may play out. But at the moment, I'm buying everything that was said and how she forgive him. And we said this, didn't we, the other day? Like, how she can forgive him so conveniently with this story about this spawned fucking woman who wanted to be a bridesmaid. It's utter bollocks. You know what I mean? So I sort of like, you've made your bed in it. Is she doing this, like you said, because of the show? I think so. But what a strange character he is.
Yeah, and I want to know what happened in that night more than I think is healthy. I am desperate to know. What was it? Was he just, let's forego all the foreplay, straight down to it, 30 seconds later, it's all over? Or, the lines you said about knowing his favourite sex position, was he maybe a bit kinky? He's lived a single life for a bit. Maybe he'd be better paired up with Melissa, who we'll speak about in the outro. But no, I don't know. I'm just desperate to find out. I'm hoping, it'll come up in some conversations, or like some, maybe when they're on the sofa, in the commitment ceremonies. But I just desperately want to know what actually happened, because it made no sense. We saw it when he says about, it's taken me everything, to not jump over the table. And they look good together, don't they? They're both very good looking people. And then sleep together, and then he doesn't even find her sexually attractive anymore. She says there's just no chemistry at all. Now, Christ, there's bad sex, and then there's fucking this.
Yeah.
And she is understandably really upset. And, talk about lack of any emotional intelligence whatsoever, because, with the whole honesty box and stuff, he's not getting it. Because she's reacting, because she's upset, because he says basically he doesn't fancy her, there's no sexual chemistry at all. And he's like, oh, she's acting like I've shouted at her or something. And it's like that. It's not that, you dick. You just said something really hurtful. Doesn't matter if you shouted it or whispered it. It's still ultimately really fucking hurtful. So, yeah, I'm intrigued, Chris. Very intrigued. What happened? I need to know.
Why do you keep saying that word? Nobody
was it too saucy, or was it not saucy enough, or was there not enough warming up involved? I need to know.
Look, I'm with you. It was, and fair play to her. She was very respectful the way she delivered it. He didn't deserve the respect, if I'm being honest, Dave. No respect whatsoever. No. So let's see on that. But I will say, Dave, so I thought this was like going to be the pinnacle of the episode. Yeah. And then we get Clare and Jessie. Now, Jessie has been really blunt. He gets the ick over the most ridiculous things. He's got a list as long as his fucking arm of what stuff make, which basically every single person in the world, whether you're a man or woman, you're going to give him the ick one way or the other. And they're on the honeymoon, and he starts off quite well. He starts talking to Clare about, like, he opens up about his anxiety and everything, Dave, which I do think this is all pinned on. I do think this is like he's either been hurt in the past or something, but he he's definitely suffering with some sort of anxiety there, definitely. And I also think, to be fair, he may actually be on the spectrum because he's so blunt. And it was like, she said to him, well, what gives you the ick? And he went, no, you don't. Don't you know what? Go on. What gives you the ick? And he just fucking went, did he, Dave? It's just like, well, you sort of asked him. You know he's quite direct. However, what a fucking bellend, Dave. I mean, what brilliant TV, but I just couldn't believe some of the shit he was saying. It was fucking brilliant.
You know, Jessie is such a massive dick, and a hurtful one at that. And Chris, I kind of love him. He's such comedy. I mean, what a twat. Because, like, he's got zero tact. I never even considered, like, is he on the spectrum? I don't know. But the fact that he went, you know, from this vulnerable conversation where he's saying about, you know, all the things I am, you're those, but better and more. And someday you'll find out that you don't need me because you've already got everything.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really vulnerable type conversation to have. But then when they got onto the things, you know, what gives him the ick, and then it's like, oh, I've got a list as long as you are, but put star sign chicks. That's the big one, you know, and basically lays into her. But Chris, it's when he goes on about the random comments and what he says now? He's saying about, look at the sun. Look at the sand. Look at the sea. Look at how the sun and the sand and the sea all melt together. He's just like, fucking shut up. Honestly, I was watching it, Chris, like, just stop there. Damage limitation. No, stop. And honestly, he just kept going, and I'm like, you fucking dick.
It was so good.
For the show, you know, it is so funny, and that's why I kind of love him, even though he's such a massive bellend. And honestly, I couldn't believe what he was doing. But, you know, Chris, this is why I watch this shit. It's for people like him. And, you know, she was like, right, that's it. I've had enough. You're not my person. I'm done. Now, I don't know what exactly was going on there, because it's like, right, I'm going, come on, camera crew, come and follow me, you know, watch me pack. And, you know, there are probably, you know, it's a resort, isn't it? So there are multiple ways to the exit. But I am going to go right past the restaurant where we were just eating. So it's like, oh, fucking hell, you know. We'll see them next week, without doubt. So I don't know if she was being directed to go that way or whatever. And he's just sat there like, yeah, don't know what I could have said any different. Could I have said it softer? No, I don't think so. Like, fucking hell, mate. Someone needs to have a word with you and like teach you about humans, you know, because it doesn't seem like you've been on this earth for that long, you know. So, yeah, Chris, it was brilliant. It was one of those, though. Sorry, I know you can jump in there, but it's one of those where I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, only 4 episodes a week. I've got to wait till next week now. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant.
It was excellent. You're so right. And I love what she said. Like, at the end, she says, I'm going to quote now, but he's close-minded. He's emotionally mature. He's not my person. I'm not wasting any more time. I don't need any experts to tell me that. That's not for me. And then, obviously, like you say, we've got the whole drama. We've seen it with Selling, didn't remember Selling, Dave, and then the wrestler, the other guy.
Yeah.
Was it Anthony or something? I think it was Anthony.
I think it was,
Yeah. And they seemed brilliant at the wedding, and then she fucking absolutely despised him, didn't she, all the way through? Like, hated everything about
he did.
him.
I don't really see what he did that was wrong. Maybe he was just one of those who's very different off camera to on camera, but he seemed to come across quite well. And yeah, I think she did have a habit, though, of rubbing people up the wrong way, didn't she? Because she was annoying the girls when she came back for the reunions and stuff.
Yeah, she came back and just caused a load of shit, didn't she, with Olivia and stuff? Well, she's not a bad thing, Dave.
No, it's great.
I can't argue with that. Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, I've got an early Reality Radar actual prediction. So we get a very, very small VT of the next couple of couples. And one of the couples that stands out is the girl, Melinda, the one who said, I'm a 7-figure, businesswoman, drives a Porsche, all this stuff. You know, she's got 4 businesses, all that, right? I think, because the guy she gets with, we see the thing, she's like, what the fuck's this? Like, who is he? He's not
I think
who
she
I'm
said
after.
something like,
It's horrible.
He's definitely punching, which
Punching,
I thought was, was a horrible thing to say.
However, David, we've just seen Matt and fucking, the baby speaker, what's she called, who ended up cheating, Whitney, get together. Reality Radar, episode 4 prediction, Harrison and Melinda, Dave, all get together. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I think they, instead of putting maybe this guy who this Melinda's with, I don't know what his name is yet, but maybe putting him with Harrison, what's she called? His bloody girl, Harrison's
Bronte.
With. Bronte. Maybe they'd have a chance. I don't know. Maybe he looks a bit older actually, but I don't know. But anyway, completely the wrong people these are with. So I'm going with that prediction, Dave, down the road, and he's going to be a famous another gym fucking session or something like that. Some bollocks fucking interview. So that's my prediction so far.
No, I could definitely see that. Definitely see that. So, and the other couple, Chris, there was Melissa and her bloke.
Oh, God, he had the fucking Toy Story pajamas on. And she went, have you got a Woody? And he's like, well, I don't know what you mean. He's like, why would you put together?
For our entertainment, Chris.
I know.
It's fucking brilliant. I mean,
it's like...
he just wasn't getting it at all. She was like, they were talking about the favourite Toy Story characters, and she was saying, well, mine's Woody. And she was like, why do you think that is? And he was like, no idea. I mean, I thought, Chris, she could have gone for Buzz.
Well, yeah, Buzz and Woody, Dave, they work together, don't they?
But, Chris, I felt conflicted because I think that's going to be an absolute car crash. He looks like the 40-year-old virgin, to be honest, brought to life, doesn't he? But, I kind of like my comedy pajamas as well, Chris. I've got a very nice pair of Grinch pajamas that come out at Christmas. So, I was like, maybe I won't slam the guy just yet. Mind you, to be fair, I don't think I'd be wearing them on the wedding night. But I'm just hoping, like, Melissa, she'd said this thing about her fuckboys, hadn't she? When she wants someone older because, the weekends are just for a fuckboys kind of thing. I'm hoping more that her and Harrison get together, to be honest. So let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
But it's going to be messy, isn't it? I mean, we've seen enough. We've got a few couples that we're rooting for there, hoping they do quite well, have that connection, and it builds from there. But yeah, the rest of it's going to be messy as fuck. And I can't bloody wait till next week now.
I can't wait. It's been brilliant. So if you want to email us, guys, with anything you've seen on the show, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. Please get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast if you want to support us a little bit more. So today's roll call of honour is, and welcome to our newest patron, Fiona. So thank you, Fiona, for supporting us. So we've got Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Kate, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Gillian, Michelle, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy, Lauren, Tracy, Lucky Lily Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. And as always, get up to Facebook. Please join up there. Loads of people are joining. We're nearly at 350, I said in the last episode. I just had a quick look, so we're getting there. We're getting up there. So thank you. 350, 450. Thank you so much for all your support.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you very much. I know we had to delay for a day or so, just time-wise and everything, but glad we got to record this one and get our thoughts together because, like I say, it's been a cracking start. I never like these week ones, but every episode has been on the very enjoyable end of the scale. So, yeah. And if it goes up from this, there's 35 or 36 or something episodes to look forward to. Bring it on, sir. Bring it on.
Excellent. Well, let's go and have a well-deserved day off, Dave. And that does sound good. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to everyone out there for listening to us. Thanks to everyone who supports us. And we'll speak to you next time. Bye.